I've used to overcomplicate so much about trying to find new ideas and validate new products. I've built websites, I've designed logos, even recorded podcasts, created content, all before actually knowing if people even cared about this and willing to spend the money. So I'm done with all that. I want to keep it simple. I just want to just reach out to people, ideal prospects, and show you how I've been using cold email to validate new ideas. This could be done for if you're looking to take on brand new clients, find new products. You can reach out to the ideal client, and we're going to use these cold email approaches that has got me over 70% open rates, great replies, and I can see if this is actually a worthy venture before I waste a ton of time and a ton of money. I'll walk through that exact strategy, exact tools I'm using in this video. All right, let's get into it. So thank you for coming past my channel. My name is Joe Lemon, and I'm a marketer, a salesperson, and just somebody that's on a mission to really not just help people make more money, which that's important. People need that, but to help people do the things that are really going to help them move the needle for their families, the same mission I'm on. And I just want to walk through how I'm going about validating different ideas, finding new clients, and building up my actual own media agency while working full time as a sales marketer. So if you are on LinkedIn, go make sure that we connect there. And I've been doing this for a while. I've been working for startups for the past almost 20 years, so small businesses. And I'll tell you this, one thing is true that you don't know until, and that's what I want to dive into today is how do you figure out what ideas, what products, what services people actually want? And it all starts with the ICP. You start with the problem and make sure there's a problem that you're solving, not just come up with your own ideas, because that's where a lot of things lose track in the very first place. They're nice to haves, not problems that people are actually willing to invest in solving. And that's, I think, a key difference. So today's problem that we're going to outline is really helping rehab facilities create new programs. Why? Because most of their patients don't follow up or don't finish their actual rehab program. People lose track. They don't want to keep investing the money. They're not seeing the results they want fast enough. And so they just stop. And so that's one thing. They're losing revenue because they can't retain those actual clients. So that's the main problem that we're thinking about. We're going to dive into figuring out how to decode here. And today I'm using tools to help me do that. And I'll share all these tools. You guys can go check them out. I'll have links in the description below. And we're going to start cleaning the list. So let's start with that. All right, so now that we have the actual problem defined, let's talk about what tools we're going to use to help us get there. I like just using simple tools like this that could prompt out your actual landing pages. It took me less than 10 minutes max just to iterate on it too. But you can see really it's the patient loyalty automated for the Pet Rehab Hub. I also run a podcast called The Rehab Lab. So therefore, Pet Rehab Hub, you see what I'm trying to do here. And yeah, it's just nothing crazy, but we're going to just make sure that people can have a way to help get recurring revenue and keep their patients engaged. I'll use on the back end, I'll use this tool called Go High Level. It does a ton of like automations and workflows, great for small businesses, not so much for B2B, but good for lots of the clinics that we're going to be working with. And to pull the list, I build my list here in Exa. You can run all types of lists, man. Exa, to me, if you're not familiar, you got to get this thing a go. You pretty much prompt in what you're looking for, and you can pull emails, names, everything else. But if you're just in a hurry, you can always use Export. Apollo, another great tool that allows you just to grab data right from Apollo. It feels like you're stealing, man. This is the problem. But either way, it's there for us. And I'll hop into ChatGPT, ideate on what the messaging should be. Keep the less than 100 words, easy to read, easy for people to say yes or no to, because that's the goal. The goal is not so much that I need them to understand what I'm up to in this first touch. It's literally just you break the sales process into like small segments, and I just want to see if there's an interest, if there's a get to them to make the next step, right? And next step might just be no, and I'll show you some of the things that have already come through. Simple questions. Hey, would you like to see if that could work for you in your clinic? Call to actions are pretty simple. If you're interested, I can send you a quick 5-minute video opposed to me trying to hop on a call, waste their time for 15 minutes, waste my time. They don't show up. Just send it to them. Just give them what you got. So I can show them that automation that's being done here and Go High Level if they choose to learn more. Before I even get into sending out the emails, I built the list and I pulled the list from Export, Apollo, and then I have my content that I'm going to send. But then I just got to validate those emails, because I'll tell you, some of these, especially when you pull from Apollo or Zoom Info, any of these major databases, you're lucky if half the actual contacts are legit. And that's going right to the spam box. And so I'll validate those emails. And one last step before I even put it into my email tool, I check it in spam. Highly overlooked thing that I didn't do. And this is how I really make sure I try to get at least delivered into their inbox. Like, again, this is not about closing deals yet. We're not even at that. We're not talking about money yet. We're not doing any of that stuff yet. This is the micro steps that are needed to help us get to that process of even being considered whether they're going to spend some money with us. Right now, we're just trying to get in front of them, right? And so I put that message from Grammarly into a spam checker to make sure that it at least can beat some of the Google's spam filters, basically. And then I go blast it off inside Instantly. And let me tell you, to me, Instantly is one of my favorite tools right now. The process is so easy how you just set up the actual campaigns. You see the email open rates. I have multiple emails listed here going out, but I started this yesterday. So we just started blasting this off yesterday. So I don't have the results yet, but at least you can see the process that we're going through to help us get there and see if people are even interested in this. They may say no, and no's all right, man. I think no's actually, in this stage of the phase, you want to chase down the no's. You want to get as many no's as possible. I think that should be the name of the game up front at the top of the funnel where we are now. I'm just trying to figure out if this is even worth pursuing. Because one, we don't need a ton of clients for this to make sense for me, for the agency. But I do want to know that people are even thinking about this. They consider it. There's other competitors that are doing this. And man, I've done a little bit of homework, and you should do that too, by just hopping on Google, hopping on ChatGPT, pulling up a competitors list. But talking to your people is where it's at. And I don't care if this is you looking for a brand new job or this is you going out trying to test your own ideas. The process to me is the same. Because even when I take on consulting clients, even when I start working with Elevation, and I've been there for over a decade now, before I started asking around. Now, I didn't ask the right people because I didn't know my ICP like that, but just start talking to people in the industry and get their thoughts. You don't have to base your thoughts off of that, but it's good to get the feedback. So with that being said, hopefully this gives you at least the tools, and I'll have links below so you can just start the process of, all right, I can build a quick landing page using Hostinger. I can go find out my list. I can go scrape the list from Export Apollo or use Exa. Either one, to me, highly underused. It's a killer. Then you go jump yourself over into ChatGPT, come up with some different ways to kind of structure this, put your own spin on it, of course, keep it simple. Nobody's going to read your book or some 4 or 5 paragraphs. They don't even know you yet. And run it through the spam checker over at Mailometer. And then you dive in to make sure that your emails are validated, that you just download it, and you put it in a tool like Instantly.ai. Look forward to hearing what you guys I've come up with. Looking forward to see if this process is going to help you out at all. And either way, this will at least let you figure out what people are interested in, just an idea of what people are going to be willing to spend money on. Because if you don't get 0 yeses and you send out thousands of emails, then maybe it's not worth pursuing. But I will say this, don't stop after you send 100 emails to your potential ICP. Give yourself a shot, but you got to do 1,000. I don't know how you do less than 1,000 these days, because even with great open rates, the reply rates, you see what those are, which is not too far off industry standard either. But a reply rate of 1%, 1,000 emails, okay, you talk to a couple people, which is nice. Right? But that's what you need to really kind of get the ball going. So with that being said, hopefully this gives you some frameworks around what tools you can use. All right, so if that brought you any value, please go like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll keep working on my sales AI tools and voice AI tech, trying to figure out where's the right place to implement that. And tell a friend about it. It'd be great to spread the news about this. And I'll keep dropping those videos in the future. All right, until next time.